Good afternoon and welcome to the Prince George's County Memorial Library System's virtual programs. We are coming to you live on July 23rd from here in Prince George's County. We have a very special guest today. Her name is Denise Smith. She is the Communications Director of the Office of the State's Attorney for Prince George's County. And we're so grateful to the Office of the State's Attorney for their continued partnership year-round, but especially right now during the pandemic and economic crisis. They've been wonderful supporters of everything that the library is doing for the community. Denise is going to be presenting a program on the elevator pitch, keys to creating a dynamic first impression, and we hope you enjoy.
Thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in or even watching later. So today we're talking about the elevator pitch, and I just wanted to I'm just gonna just to tell you a little bit about me, and I'm gonna be very brief with this, right? So my full-time job, I am the communications director for the state's attorney's office. I am a professional communicator. I have over 20 years experience in the field, in the communications field, but I also wear several different hats. So in addition to the communications activities for the state's attorney's office, which, by the way, handles media relations activities, anything that deals with communicating information on behalf of our office to the public, that is what I'm responsible for. Excuse me. But in addition to that role, I am also a business and business mentor and consultant, where I help small businesses or entrepreneurs who have not started yet get their companies off the ground. In addition to that, I also host a television show on CTV, the county's public access station. It's a business show that's designed to give tips and advice for small businesses on how to start, run, and grow their business. Also, I own my own photography company, so I'm a business owner. So that's just a little bit about me, but all of those hats that I wear involve communication skills. So anything that you do, anything that you're going to be involved in is going to require a certain skill level of communications. And so that is where, and in addition to that, it's specifically, since we're talking about the elevator pitch, it involves in some form of fashion an elevator pitch. So let's just get started. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to go through a scenario. We're going to talk about, we're going to define the definition of the elevator pitch, why you would pitch to someone, who you would pitch to, how to prepare your pitch. I'm going to give you a few examples of some elevator pitches. And if we get more people on who would be able to participate, we may do an exercise where you would write a quick elevator pitch and receive some feedback. And then if you have any questions at the end, we can go through that as well. So we're going to talk about this scenario. Just imagine that you are an artist and you are displaying your work at an art exhibit, and another artist walks up to you with Jay-Z and he introduces you to him. Now, Jay-Z is very busy, as is anyone who is in the public eye, but he takes the time to smile at you, and you two exchange greetings, and then he asks you a question. How can I help you? In your mind, you need to know where you start. Well, you're going to start with an elevator pitch. And so the elevator pitch, it's a brief, persuasive speech that you use to spark interest in what your organization does. You can also use them to create interest in a project, idea, or product, or in yourself. Now, you can use an elevator pitch in any situation, but it is basically it's also called an elevator speech. And what that means is it's a quick synopsis of who you are, what you do, and what you want to do. So just remember those key things: who you are, what you do, and what you want to do. Now, from the business owner, because I'm always an advocate for small businesses and all that kind of stuff. So I gave another definition here, or I found another definition. It's a short description of a product or business idea, especially one given to a possible investor. The main things to remember about your elevator pitch when developing it is that it needs to be succinct and it needs to be persuasive, because your elevator pitch is basically you selling you. You are selling yourself. So now we're going to go back a little bit to the scenario. He's asked you this question, and as you try to organize your thoughts, the elevator opens up and Jay-Z moves on to the next artist. This is why you need to develop an elevator pitch for missed opportunities, because essentially that's what that was. Your elevator pitch is going to be what you need to have in the back of your mind to introduce yourself to someone that has something that you want, okay? So in these types of situations, if you don't have it ready, it's a missed opportunity. You don't want to have regret. So now is the time to just start developing it, having it in the back of your mind, and when those opportunities come, you'll have it in the, bring it to the top of mind, okay? So it's an opportunity to showcase yourself, your company, your services, and the value you can bring to support someone else's mission, vision, and their goals. That's your selling point right there, because you need to make sure that that's included in your pitch. You can also, it can also be used to sell a new idea to your boss, to introduce yourself to a potential employer, or get noticed for a new opportunity. Who do you pitch to? Who's your targeted audience? Okay, your potential investors can be anyone. It can be your boss. These are just a few: your boss, colleagues, new or existing stakeholders, investors, potential employers, potential clients. You might want to pitch an idea to your boss about a new project or a new product for your company, developing that, and you taking the lead on that. That's a pitch. We find ourselves every day in situations where we're selling ourselves and we don't even know it. So now what you need to do is to recognize that fact and start getting ahead of the game, okay? All right. So some guidelines to creating your pitch. Before you can create a pitch, you need to know what your goal is, or goals, what your goals are, and what you need to reach those goals. You cannot start until you have that in mind, okay? So what needs to be included in your pitch is you're going to be explaining who you are. That's your introduction. What you do. You're going to communicate your unique selling proposition, what it is that you bring to the table. And then you're going to ask for what you want. This is very important, okay? You cannot be afraid to ask what you want. And people love assertiveness. So don't be afraid. Start practicing it. This is about being confident in what you know and what you do, and communicating that to the person that you're trying to sell yourself to. Don't be afraid to ask. You have to ask for something, otherwise there's no point in pitching. So you'll pull it all together, and I cannot stress enough, once you have that elevator speech all put together, you have to practice it 1,000 times a day, even, until you get it down. You have to know it like it's on the back of your hand, and keep it in the back of your mind. And then again, when you find yourself in a situation, and we call those situations opportunities. So when you find those opportunities, then you bring it to the top of your mind. So, and then you start looking for those opportunities. You have to create your own opportunities. It's not always going to find you. And yes, there will be situations where you just so happen to come upon people that you want to be able to sell yourself to, but sometimes you have to create your own opportunities. And that is called being assertive and making your own way. Here's some more guidelines. Okay. I don't care who you're talking to. Your elevator pitch needs to be no longer than 30 seconds. Now, because if you've never done one before, we can start with a minute, okay? But absolutely the maximum time is 60 seconds. As you master it, after you craft it and you master it and you practice it and you master it, you'll be able to get it down to 30 seconds. That is the ultimate goal, is 30 seconds. But for now, 60 seconds is doable, particularly if you're a younger person. So it needs to be memorable, and it needs to be engaging, and it needs to be informative. Listen, you know what you know. You know what you do. You know that you know what you know. And if you know what you know and you know what you do, and you're passionate about what you do, then it's already going to be memorable. It's already going to come off that way. You want to be genuine. You want to be authentic and being passionate about what it is that you do and what it is that, who you are as a person and what your skill level is. It'll always come off that way. So you have to be prepared, and it should be inviting. You want to make your target audience want to know more information about you. And that's how because that is what the elevator pitch does. It is the start of a potential professional conversation. Okay, I'm going to go back to the 30-second rule here. The goal is 30 seconds. And again, when you're just getting started, 60 seconds is okay. Okay, but your goal is to get it down to 30 seconds. So what I wanted to do was I'm gonna set the clock for 30 seconds, and I just want you to sit there and look and just sit there for 30 seconds. Okay, and I'm gonna start right now. You see how long that was? 30 seconds is a long time. So imagine 60 seconds, double the amount of time. Now, if it's a really engaging conversation, great. Okay, you can pull it off. But 30 seconds is the goal. Do you know how many words you can fit into 30 seconds? Do you know how much information you can fit into 30 seconds? 30 seconds is a long time for people who don't have a lot of time. And when they don't have a lot of time, it's not anything against you. It is the things that they got on their brain, their minds, the tasks that they've got going or that they have to accomplish today. They don't have a lot of time. 30 seconds is key. So here are a few examples, and I'm just going to read them so that you can get an idea of how to start putting yours together. Hi, my name is Mark. Thanks so much for sitting down with me today. After graduating with my bachelor's degree in business administration, I've spent the last 3 years building professional experience as an executive assistant. I've successfully managed end-to-end event coordination and have generated a strong professional network for my colleagues. I was excited to learn about this opportunity in the sports management space, and I've always been passionate about the way sports bring cultures together and would love the opportunity to bring my project management and leadership abilities to this position. And I was doing a job interview. It was an executive assistant applying for another executive assistant position with a sports management agency. But you see, she introduced herself. She talked about what she does. She named an accomplishment, which is what her unique selling position is. She asked for what she wanted. Here's another one. This was someone who is looking for a job opportunity. Hi, my name is Sarah. It's so nice to meet you. I'm a PR manager specializing in overseeing successful initiative launches from beginning to end. Along with my 7 years of professional experience, I recently received my MBA with a focus on consumer trust and retention. I find the work your PR team does to be innovating and refreshing. I'd love the opportunity to put my expertise to work for your company. So Sarah introduced herself. She said what she does. She talked about her background and what she's been able to do. And she asked for what she wanted. Who you are, what you do, what you want to do. Important keys there in that elevator pitch. Here's another one. If you just want someone as a contact or someone, to later on even maybe mentor you or something like that, okay? Hello, my name is Anwar. It's a pleasure to meet you. I have a background in business analytics with just over 10 years of experience creating data-driven solutions for various business problems. Specifically, I love and have had great success in the strategic evaluation of data analysis with our executive staff. It sounds like you do similar work, and I would love to keep in touch to learn more about what you and your company do. He introduced himself. He talked about what he does, what he's accomplished, and what he wants to do. Who you are, what you do, and what you want. You gotta make the ask, and these can be followed up. And I'm just gonna give one more example, and this is my own. And I'm gonna show you how to follow up with a call for action, which is not in here. Smith, it's nice to meet you. I'm a business mentor and consultant where I help entrepreneurs get their companies off the ground. I walk them through the process of setting up their business from start to launch. I have over 10 years experience training small business owners on how to start, run, and grow their business. I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs get positioned for business opportunities and make their dreams come true. It sounds like you're looking to start a business. I'd love to help you get your company up and running. Who I am, what I do, I threw in there what I've been able to do, and I put in what I want from you. I want you as my client. And then I could follow that up with, I have some time next week where we could set up a phone call. What's your schedule look like? That's very assertive and is very aggressive. You cannot be afraid to be assertive or be aggressive in the world where you want to ask for something, where you want something. So if you want something, ask for it. So just a few more tips when developing your pitch. You have to take your time. Don't rush through it. I would make it anywhere between 75 and 90 words. I think my pitch was about 100 words, but once you get more comfortable, until you get more comfortable, limit your words to about 75 to 90 words, just to give yourself enough space, in that time with the person that you want to talk to your target audience. Make it conversational. Okay, it's good to plan out your elevator pitch ahead of time, but you should always avoid sounding rehearsed. Okay, a good way to keep your pitch conversational is to memorize a general outline or key points of your speech. Keep it in the back of your mind. And then, for example, if you're talking to someone you've just met, keep the conversation general, but focus on your background and possibly state if you're speaking about new opportunities. Also avoid niche words and phrases, okay? Stay away from acronyms and technical terms. Keep your language general because sometimes, your target audience may not be up on the lingo in your industry, but just keep it, broad because you don't want to get them confused. And then also express confidence. Even the best elevator pitch can lose its effectiveness if your delivery lacks confidence. I'm going to say this again. You know what you know. You know who you are. You know what you do. You know what you know. So you know that you know what you know. Okay? So when you are good at what you do and you have accomplishments that you can talk about, even the high school student has skills or accomplishments that they are able to talk about in some form or fashion, whether it's good grades or whatever whatever you've been able to accomplish. If you're on a football team and you've thrown so many number of yards, or if you're in the SGA, the Student Government Association, you know what you know. And if you're passionate about what you know, or passionate about yourself and what you do and your skills, your confidence is just it's gonna come out anyway, okay? So therefore, you're gonna need to speak with a strong voice, because a strong, that brings out your confidence. Keep your shoulders back, your chest high, smile, and speak with authority about what you know, about what you do, about yourself. No one knows you better than you. Here's some things not to do. Again, don't speak too fast. Avoid rambling. Sometimes we can get off on tangents when we're not comfortable and when we're not confident in what we're talking about. And by the time and before you know it, your 30 seconds is gone and your target audience has no more time. You're out of time. So try to avoid rambling. That is where practice comes in. Practice, 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 practice. 1,000 times a day until you get it. Don't frown or speak in a monotone way. That makes it unconversational. It has to sound, you need to sound authentic. You need to sound passionate. If you are passionate, you're going to be passionate. If you are passionate, you're going to leave your target audience wanting more. People like positive attitudes. You're excited about what you're doing. You'll do a good job. Don't restrict yourself to just one elevator pitch. You're going to need to tailor your pitch to whomever your audience is. It's not one size fits all. You could, if you want if you're on a job interview with the person that's doing the interview is going to be different from the person who you want just an internship from, or someone, if you have to do an interview to get into a college or a university. Okay, tailor your pitch. Your key points are the same, but your intro and your ask is going to be different. Okay, let's talk about, let me just read this. If the person is not interested, there's potential that your audience won't be open to hearing your pitch. If it's not the right time, or the person you're speaking to doesn't seem receptive, gracefully draw back. If you've asked for an in-person meeting and they've said no, you can ask if they would prefer email or a phone call. If you get the sense at any point in the conversation that it's an inconvenience, use this opportunity to negotiate for a lesser ask. Leave the conversation with empathy for your audience, because remember, you prepared this speech that they weren't expecting. So we've all been in situations where we've been caught off guard. So don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged, not be afraid. Don't be discouraged, because I'll also say this: for every yes that you get, there's going to be 9 no's that came before it. Now, if you get a yes before your 10th time giving this pitch, great, you can celebrate. But don't give up. I can't stress that enough. Don't give up. And don't always stop with the person who tells you no until you can get to the person who can tell you yes. The key here is to keep going. So we don't have anybody on right now who would be able to participate in the exercise. So, my advice to you is to just use the previous guidelines to start developing your pitch, and make sure that it is no longer than a minute. But as you practice, remember 30 seconds.
Denise, we do have a few more people who joined. In case you want to invite any of them on, happy to hear from them.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So any of the folks who've joined us since we started, please let us know if you'd like to do a test elevator pitch and get some feedback from Denise. You can let us know in the chat or unmic yourself. And if you prefer to remain anonymous, that's cool too, and we'll make this available to everyone else.
Just a quick elevator pitch. It's who you are, what you do, and what you want. And I don't know how long you've been on, because I wasn't looking at the participant list. But if you'd like to, and I don't know if you want me to go back to the examples page where I give examples of elevator pitches, I could do that as well. But otherwise, I could just take questions if there are any. And okay. Takita?
Say hello.
Hey, we can hear you.
Hi.
Would you like to do a test elevator pitch?
No.
Okay.
No worries, but thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So just remember, things to include in your pitch. Introduce yourself, talk about who you are, briefly describe, your background, your career, or your current projects. Also describe what you're passionate about. They love to see the excitement, what you're passionate about. Ask for what you want, and then finish with a call to action. And so another thing that you can do once you've crafted your elevator pitch is practice it in front of family or friends. You can record yourself so that you can go back and listen and watch it. That way, because you'll see for yourself where you may need some improvement. Then what you do is you take the feedback that you receive from your family and your friends, incorporate it in your pitch. And I cannot stress enough, practice, practice, practice. Practice until the cows come home. Practice until you get tired, okay? Because that's gonna be key in making it a conversational and confident elevator pitch where you're selling you. So thank you all for listening.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Denise. How can folks stay in touch with the Office of the State's Attorney?
Oh, sure. You can alwals call my office number, which is 301-952-2848. That's 301-952-2848.
Very good. Thanks so much. There have also been some of Denise's colleagues have joined the library for various programs, including career chats and read alouds. If you'd like to take a peek at any of those other programs, you can visit our YouTube page at youtube.com/PGCMLS. We appreciate all of you. And if you have any needs from the library, let us know. We encourage folks to sign up both for Summer at Your Library, which is our summer reading and library engagement program. You can log activities like coming to this program or reading every day or using our online resources to earn prizes like free t-shirts, free books, and tickets to an upcoming Washington Nationals game whenever people are allowed into the stadium. So visit our website for that, pgcmls.info/summer at your library. And likewise, if you have or know kids under the age of 5 who live in the county, please encourage their parents or guardians to register them for Books from Birth. This is a program that is fully funded by the county and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library Foundation. It provides one book per month that is sent to the home by mail for a child up to the age of 5. They get a free book monthly to keep. This is separate from the library books, and you can build a nice personal library to encourage literacy and kindergarten readiness. So you can check out our website for that at pgcmls.info/free books. And with that, I will stop being the spokesperson and let you all get back to your afternoons. Thanks so much, Denise. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye.